face is very active in the community, so I don't say a lot of people know who I am, but my face is almost everywhere. So I'm afraid if I write an article on all these shootings that are happening to teenagers who are our age, 16, 17, 18-year-olds, that is going to come and backfire on me. My safety, who I live with my family as well, is going to be compromised.
Our reaction was we usually end up defeated. However, our advisor remains hopeful and optimistic towards the future and future endeavors. I'd like them to know that we're not out there to target them. We are not trying to just impose a bad light on them. We are simply trying to examine the truth and kind of give an inside look to not only our students, but our administrators and teachers about what we see day to day in our perspective.
I would say censorship would have a terrible effect on my writers if that's something we had to deal with. I think it limits the student's voice. I think it limits the reality of situations in life and the ability to have to, I think as long as we're responsible journalists and we are printing and we know things are factual or we support our opinions with facts, then it just limits what the students can do if you don't allow it. And I would also warn against prior review. I think that's a thing too. I heard a few students today say when the administration reads my paper or they read my story first, be careful with establishing prior review because it is a step into censorship.
One would be we had a lot of recent turnover lately with the Board of Education, and when we tried to write about the wave of resignations that were happening, we were told that it had to go through like the principal, the vice principal, our superintendent.
Freudian slip.
She wanted to meet with she is superficial. Our superintendent had to meet with us and like sit down and interview us and basically manipulated us into writing not what we wanted to write.
And the students weren't even allowed to edit it. And then the other case was we have a really controversial tradition in our school between the cheerleaders and the football players, which is seen as sexist because cheerleaders are making posters and baking for the football players and they don't get much in return. So we tried to write about that, and it was supposed to be just an opinion piece, but the amount of backlash that we had and the anger from the student body made us...
Before it was even written.
Yeah, we had to tune it down and kind of like whitewash it so that people wouldn't get so angry.
It's so frustrating.
It's really frustrating.
Because you try to look at it from like an editor's perspective, and it's just like presenting these opinions or these facts, and then it gets like very emotional along the way.
I think one of our advisors once said like it shouldn't be this hard to tell the truth, and I think about that a lot because like you think this is America, this is a newspaper, it should just be that, but it's not because it's school.
I think as a local school, we're an example for other schools and we're part of a broader community, so I think if one school is censored, then that's just going to spread around to other schools in the area and the community, and it's going to be a domino effect that'll lead to more censorship.